Hello to everyone and welcome to the course Sensor Fusion Techniques for eHealth. My name is Matteo Ciprian and I am a sensor fusion and machine learning engineer at Focal Point Position, a space tech startup based in Cambridge. Moreover, I'm also the lecturer of this course. So as the title suggests, this course will deal with sensor fusion, and specifically we are going to see all the techniques and algorithms related to sensor fusion that can be applied in the health tech and the eHealth domain. The subtitle of this course is From the Theory to the Practice, and I think that nothing better than this statement describes what are the real intentions of this course. During the lecture, we will understand, for example, how to apply a Kalman filtering, which is a famous sensor fusion algorithm, to estimate and accurate measuring the heart rate of a person. Or, for example, we'll understand how to use a Bayesian network to monitoring the activity of daily living of a person living in a smart home and multi-sensor environment. In few words, we'll understand how to apply the theoretical knowledges to the real and practical problem that the innovator and the scientists have to face in the eHealth domain. Let me first introduce me and my expertise. I graduated in telecommunication engineering with a particular specialization in signal processing and machine learning for sensor technologies. Before and after my graduation, I worked with many institutions and companies in the field of health tech and eHealth, with projects ranging from movement analysis, brain-computer interface, and smart assisted living. I'm also publishing some of these works. Since 2019, I started work with Focal Point Positioning as a machine learning and sensor fusion engineer. So Focal Point Positioning is a startup based in Cambridge, working in the field of navigation system and motion tracking. The goal of Focal Point is to build and develop algorithms and software for the future navigation systems, dramatically improving the accuracy and the reliability. Specifically in the company, as I said, I work in the artificial intelligence team, which actually tried to combine machine learning and sensor fusion for motion tracking. But let's try now to understand what are the main goals and targets of this course. Basically, what you should have learned at the end of the lecture. So, first of all, I will try to give you a complete overview of what is sensor fusion and the sensor fusion universe. Then, as we said before, we will go through in specific all the main techniques that are actually a subset of techniques that we can use from sensor fusion in eHealth domain. These are more the theoretical part. In the practical part, I want you to know what are the main applications and the main project that you can do with sensor fusion in the eHealth domain, and actually what is the main benefits that eHealth can bring to the future medicine. Also, someone argued that you can't understand really something where you don't understand the limits. So at the end of the day, we will also try to understand what are the main challenges and requirements for the development of the future eHealth. If I had to summarize the main added value of this course, I would definitely use the image on the slide here. Mind the gap between three main elements. First of all, we have the theoretical knowledges. And the second, we have the technology, the real-world application. And a third, the business. Over my career and experience in the eHealth and health tech domain, I went through a lot of paper, a lot of academic studies, which actually try to use really complex and convoluted algorithms to solve problems that in the real world cannot be solved. On the other hand, working with a lot of companies, I had the feeling that many companies have actually no idea of the technological complexities behind the construction of integration systems that are suitable for the application in the eHealth domain. And actually, this kind of gap between these two entities result in the fact that nowadays there are really few businesses that are able to be profitable and scalable. For this reason, filling this gap is the absolutely number one thing to do in the next future. With this perspective, I think that the target audience for this course can be split in three main groups. If you are a researcher, a novel researcher, a PhD, and you want to build your portfolio of knowledges in the e-health domain and sensor fusion, this course is definitely for you. But also, on the third part, I think that this course could be quite interesting for product manager and investor, which are actually interested in acquiring more knowledge about e-health and the stakeholder, the complexities, and the challenges, actually. For this particular audience, I would suggest to take just the second part of the course. Because the first one, as we said, is more technical. There is a lot of mathematical background required. So I will definitely suggest that only for the technical people. Let's go now with the outline of the presentation. As we said, I've structured the course in two main parts. The first part is actually about sensor fusion, and the second part is more about application of sensor fusion in the e-health. So the first part, we will try to understand what is sensor fusion, why we need sensor fusion in many technological fields. And actually, we will go through some techniques and algorithms that are used in sensor fusion particularly for e-health and health tech projects. These algorithms are, for example, Kalman filter, Bayesian network, or as we see, Damstra-Schaffer inference, which is quite a new tool used in the artificial intelligence domain. The second part is more focused on e-health, so we will go through the application, the real-world application, for example, in smart assisted living and in sport monitoring. We will try to give a definition of what is a sensors integrator, and what is the difference between sensor integration and sensor fusion. We will try to understand what is actually the pipeline between the sensor monitoring and the final user. And also, at the end, we will try to identify the challenges, the requirement, and the future perspective of the application of sensor fusion in e-health. So at this point, I would say, let's stop with the chat, go to the course, and let's see how we can apply sensor fusion in e-health.